Welcome everyone to the On Show 33. It's 6:30 in the morning European time and 11:30 in the good old US of A. Today on the show we'll have a representative from MLG, I don't know if you can guess who that is, and an up and coming new player in the KOF scene. Don't know if you can guess who that is either, but I'm sure you'll find that he excretes a lot of liquid. That might be a clue. Yes. Oh, that sounded wrong.
Oh, okay.
Shush you guys. Quiet. Right. Yes. Well, our first guest, if you haven't guessed already, well, if you have any questions, we have the answer. And he is our one and only representative of the community for MLG, and that's official. So.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, thank you. How you guys doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. So what have you been up to?
Oh man, I've been up to a lot of things. Just, since I got back, well, I mean, I've been to Europe and then a few other tournaments around here, and I just got back from final round actually.
Oh, nice.
Where I met our other guest, Juicebox.
Ah, you spoiler.
Spoiler
Is it
alert,
okay if
sorry.
I talk now?
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh man, hidden characters, it all just come unlocked and everything. Oh boy.
But he's already in the disc, so.
All right, yeah.
Yeah. 108 kilobytes, guys. 108 kilobytes. Downloading a Boolean.
So yeah, I've been putting in a lot of work, man. Yeah, so I've been here, there, trying to support our local events too.
Mm-hmm.
I just attended UCI, Rambat, and then shout out to the UCI guys for putting that together. And then also I went to the After Dark Gaming tournament Rambat that they're having at Family Fun Arcade, which was a lot of fun. And shout out to Ariel for putting that together. And another thing, a little thing I've been working on, that it was under wraps for a few weeks, but finally it's been made official, and I feel so happy about it. That I will be the lead commentator and special advisor for the KOF part of MLG.
Cool.
That's happening this weekend. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank
job.
you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very happy about that. I've been, on the scene for so many years, and I've been putting in a lot of work, and I feel like it's finally being, rewarded.
Cool. Can you tell us how did that come about? Did you know someone at MLG, or did someone get in touch with you?
I bet someone got in touch with you. Just to guess.
Yeah, somebody got in touch with me. So as you've known, I've been, just everywhere, not just here in America, but pretty much all across, the country and the world, and during like a week before, actually it was like 2 weeks before final round, someone told me, I cannot disclose, of course, who it is, but someone told me, hey, KOF is going to be at MLG. Would you be interested in, in being part of, the staff or, or the group or whatever? So I said, oh, they're probably going to want me to run brackets or, get all the people. I'm like, if I'm able to, I'll go. But since NorCalRegionals was happening, my priority was NorCalRegionals. So they're like, okay, cool. We'll just, keep you on the list. We'll keep you. And in final round, the director for the fighting games, in general for all the fighting games at MLG, approached me, and that person happens to be Arturo Sanchez.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't know him, he goes by Seven.
Yep.
And he pulled me to the side, and he asked me, "Yo, I need to talk to you, yo." I'm like, "Oh, okay. What's up? What's going on?" "Yeah, actually, I need to talk to you and Dark Geese." I was like, "Oh, okay." So, he's with me. Let's just find him and let's go talk. And also, we find our geese. We all go together. He's like, yo, I want to talk to you guys because, if you guys heard, MLG is gonna have KOF, and we want Oscar to be the commentator for MLG for the KOF part of it. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. and then he talked to Dargis about some, how can I say this without saying too much?
Some considerations involving future plans that may or may not be, thingy. Oh,
that was perfect, and that including some Latin American players.
Oh, and them too.
Yeah. So, so I said, I would love to be part of it, but right now in my priorities, NorCalRegionals. I had already compromised myself in attending there, and he said, you know what, we want you because you've been around the community, and we want somebody who knows the game, who knows the people, who knows the the background stories, who knows the players, and it can commentate. I said, well, I know everything else, but commentating, I know it's not my strongest point because I know I have like an accent and stuff. So, but he's like, no, don't worry about that. But you just want somebody who's been around and who's gonna be able to represent the community well, and somebody that people know. So I guess it's probably because people know me and I've been around in this so long that they just said, oh, this guy. So, that's kind of how I got started.
Cool. Okay. But saying that, now I have to ask. Now, obviously, MLG have been planning this for a while. Right. But obviously, there's a slight problem with the conflict on the same weekend as the NorCalRegionals. I mean, do you have any idea that they've been planning this for a while, or did they even know that NorCalRegionals was happening that weekend?
Honestly, I don't think they did know.
Yeah, that's a shame.
They didn't know. They planned their tournaments based. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. They planned the tournaments based on the Starcraft community and all the other games, and they decided to add KOF. I mean, I know you guys noticed when they announced it. I think they decided that like 3 or 4 days before they made it official. So it was a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
They confirmed and they announced it.
Yeah, it's been a short time for a lot of the international players to really get their stuff together to kind of come over. So I'm not sure it's going to be a lot of international players attending this time. But have you any idea if they're going to be featuring KOF later on?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. It's all going to depend on attendance.
Okay.
If it makes sense to them to keep supporting the game and providing those large bonus pots that they provide, they will have KOF. But at the moment, it's on a per event basis.
Okay, cool. Okay, now another thing I've heard about MLG is this thing called the continuation system. What's that about?
Okay.
Sigh of exasperation.
All right. So yeah, that is true. What do you think about that, Alan?
I'd like you to explain this to our viewers who have never heard of this before. Now, first of all, like obviously in tournaments we have, in your most basic tournament you'll have a single elimination where quite simply you play a game and you get kicked out. That's it. See you later. Lately, kind of more recently, we had the double elimination system where people have another chance because you go to another bracket. So in essence, you've got 2 brackets going on. And if you go to a tournament where they're being really nice and you've got a whole load of time, you'll have a thing like where you have groups, and the top 2 of your group will go forward to the bracket, or even then to a double elimination bracket, so you get the absolute top value for your entrance fee.
That is.
Yeah, but now so again for our viewers who have no idea, what is the continuation system?
Okay, let me get a drink of water before I go.
I'm so tempted to explain.
Okay, so from what I've read, this is all new to me also, by the way, because these are MLG rules that they've been using for Starcraft and the other games that they have, such as Halo Reach and stuff. So from what they've told me, from what I've read, and from what I've heard, is that the tournament is going to be based on a double elimination bracket. However, the continuation rule kicks in when you face your opponent. Oh, and by the way, all the matches are going to be 3 out of 5, and the grand finals are going to be 4 out of 7.
Oh boy! Wow.
Yeah. So you face. Let's just say I face Juicebox in the second round of the tournament, right?
Okay.
We play a 3 out of 5 match. Juicebox beats me because he uses the Kuma Mr. Karate now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he sends me to losers bracket, and I'm now in losers bracket. So he works his way up to, let's say, grand finals on the winner's side. I struggle, but somehow manage to take myself all the reset. I mean, not reset. I'm sorry. Managed to get myself all the way back to grand finals. So Juicebox, it's waiting in grand finals for me. I make it to grand finals. Now, here's where the continuation rule kicks in. Let's say in the first match when I faced Juicebox, he beat me 3-0. Right? Because it's the first to 5, so it's 3-0. So Juicebox, it's gonna go into the grand finals with 3 wins ahead of me. So yeah, I know. I'm kind of crazy. So he and it's gonna be a 4 out of 7 set. Remember?
Wow.
So he would have to win 4 matches, but he's already 3 ahead. Right? So he would have to win only 1 game to make those 4 matches.
Nice.
And take the crown.
Wow.
However, me on the other hand, I would have to win that set 4 out of 7. So I would have to reset the bracket. I would have to win the whole set 4 matches straight without losing a single match, because if he wins 1, I'm done.
Right.
And then so that'll be 4 matches. I will reset the bracket, right? Just like in your normal double elimination tournament. And then we would have to play another set of 4 out of 7.
Yeah. Woohoo!
Which that means that I would have to win 8 games.
Yeah.
To win the tournament.
Nice.
When Juicebox can win the tournament with 1 match.
Now, don't forget, like, grand finals is sort of a different situation. Like, if I just go to losers bracket and we play again, then it's just a little bit different.
Exactly. Now, if Juicebox goes to the losers bracket, let's say in the semifinals, so we meet in the losers bracket semifinals. Now, in this situation, we're only gonna have to play 1 set.
Okay.
Because we're both in losers.
Right.
Now, again, this set will be a 4 out of 7. Because we cannot play a 3 out of 5 because Juicebox is already ahead, 3 ahead of me.
Right.
Yeah, this is when it starts getting complicated, right? You got to start. Yeah. Okay. So it's gonna be a 4 out of 7, and Juicebox would only have to win 1 match, and I would have to win 4.
4. Okay. So basically, in the continuation system, you just don't want to meet anyone that you've beaten.
Yeah. Or that's beating you.
Or beating you. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
You don't want me. Yeah. Now that is in the situation that I face Juicebox again. But if I face somebody else in a losers bracket that I have not played, it will only be a 3 out of 5 game, a 3 out of 5 set.
Right. Yeah. So. Exactly. Okay. Wow. Have they any idea how long this could take?
Yeah, with KOF, it could take a little longer. However, there's gonna be plenty of airtime that needs to be, filled in.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. It's gonna be hardcore at least, anyway.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be intense, man. Especially if 2 people that play in the early rounds meet each other again. Oh, it's crazy. But you know what? I hear that a lot of not just the fighting community, but the other guys hate the rule, like Starcraft and Halo. Right.
Yeah. I've no idea how long their matches would be.
Oh God! Imagine a Starcraft match that somebody resets the whole bracket. 8 games.
That's crazy.
Don't the games last like 20 minutes each or something?
I don't know.
A StarCraft game can last anywhere from 3 minutes to close to an hour.
Oh,
Generally, they don't get to an hour. It really depends.
Wow.
Oh my god.
When the players are good, they sort of they tech up and they get to the point where the actual stuff starts happening. If no one's aggressed at that point, then it starts to collapse in at that point. Generally, games don't get to an hour unless there's some crazy attrition going on.
So let's say average of 20, 30 minutes?
20, 30 minutes a game on average.
Wow. I hope they've got some good seating. I know that like a lot of fighting events, you got a lot of people sitting on the floor. Yeah, that can hurt. Okay, yeah. Do you know any notable players that are coming down to MLG?
Well, I can tell you about the American players. I know that Mr. KOF, Reynolds, Romance, and Bala, they've all confirmed their attendance to the tournament. Ooh. Also, someone who's not registered already, but is planning to go is Juicebox, right? I guess the Arizona law prohibits you from buying a ticket. What is up with that?
I looked that up. I actually looked this up a long time ago. If you know MLG, maybe you're familiar with game battles. But
is that the server or something that they use? Or
basically, you can set up online money matches via game battles.
Wow.
Maybe not direct money matches, but the idea is you play sort of tournament season formats based on game battle rules. And if you win, which is all based on just peer-to-peer, console-to-console online play, you actually win money. And recently, some sites that are not affiliated with MLG have started their own, hey, you can play a money match online. You agree to these terms, blah, 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 and we'll settle disputes and stuff. And if you look at any of those websites, and this includes places like Online Poker, etc., particular state laws, including Arizona, do not differentiate gambling from games of skill. So in some states they're like, oh well, you're playing Street Fighter. Well, since you're in control and it's a game of skill, then you're allowed to bet on that because it's not gambling. If you lose, it's because you suck. And in Arizona, there's no differentiation. They say it's all gambling, and we decide it's illegal. So I cannot sign up for that website and put $20 up to bet on a money match because I live in Arizona. And for some reason, an MLG pass falls under these rules.
Okay.
So you would have to register in person.
Someone needs to register for me, or I need to register in person.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I'm not too worried about the 128-man cap. I'm not too terribly worried, but I'll just keep Arturo busy on Twitter, and if there's a problem, I'll ask someone for help.
Oh, don't worry, we'll take care of you, man. Of course.
Yeah.
So what about on your side, Alan? What can you tell me about Europe?
What can I tell you? Like I said, we had a month to prepare, and it's like normally we kind of, if we're going to travel, we kind of try to buy tickets around the 3-month mark. So yeah, it's kind of expensive. I know it's a great pot up there. But funnily enough, our recent representative from Orochinagi went down to France, and yes, Christina had a lot of experience, and I think we are going to do some serious training. Funnily enough, speaking of that answer, what did you think of the level over in France when you went down for the World Cup games in Cannes?
Like I was saying, the level there, I think it was, a bit stronger than in London.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned before, and I think it's compared to the mid-high level here in SoCal.
Mm-hmm.
Of course you have another high top players here, but I would say that their level here it's near the average mid-high.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And actually, just thinking about that, what did you bring over there that you think they hadn't seen before?
Billy Kane. I think that was all over Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I met some guys from Sweden and then from Italy, and I got a chance. Oh, actually, my team member for the team's tournament.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Mazin Kaiser.
Isaac Kaiser, shout out to him. Thank you for joining the team with me. And I played him, and he said, "Yeah, nobody in Italy plays Billy Kane." And yeah, so I think that was the biggest thing there. And when I played Fox on the first 5 set that we had the night before the finals, I think my Billy Kane was the factor that made me win that first of 5 match with Fox.
Oh, cool! Right, yeah. There's a that whole hotel night thing after the tournament.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I didn't really get any news about that. I was still waiting for videos and waiting for.
Oh, their bids are up, man.
They are.
Yeah, they're really intense, dude. It's some nice videos there. You got to check them out.
Right. Yes, we have to be sending me some links after this, and then I can spam them around a bit. Okay. Now, actually, I noticed that your handle has changed. What's going on there? You used to be LDA, and now it says something like ILG?
IGL.
IGL, what's that?
It stands for Immortal Gamers League. You can actually check out the website. It's a game center that opened up in Las Vegas recently. And the owner, it's an old friend of mine, and he said he wanted to start sponsoring some KOF players, and he approached me and Bala, and after final round, and we talked to him and Dark Geese, and we came to an agreement where we're gonna be IGL now, and LDA is still gonna be involved, but we're gonna be mainly IGL now.
Oh, okay. So wait, so you say it's an arcade?
It's a game center.
A game. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So do you remember that place you took me in downtown London? What was it called? The Love Heart?
Soho.
Gaming, Heart of Gaming or something, or?
Oh yes, the Heart of Gaming. Right. Yes.
Yeah. So they had like consoles to rent by the hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, something like that.
Ah, right, yeah. I mean, just quickly, and open this up to Juicebox as well. I mean, do you think that the time of the arcade is over now, and it's time for console cafes or rent a console kind of thing to take over?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's. I mean, we all got to be realistic, man. I mean, I love the arcades. I grew up in the arcades, but we got to be realistic that consoles are pretty much taking over. Not just for fighting games, but for all other games in general, like first-person shooters and RTS games.
What do you think, Juice?
Objection. Nah. Well, I agree, begrudgingly, much as I love the arcade. I mean, the arcade is actually a little bit, behind my time. I'm only 23. And I really didn't experience arcade culture as much as I'd liked. I mean, minus playing some old SNK games, which I didn't know the titles of when I was 10 years old. But I've actually given a lot of thought to the whole console bar business model and stuff, and regardless of my personal opinions on whether or not that is actually going to be a successful business model, because I don't really see how it can work out in the future, but what I do think is that there do need to be more social avenues for gaming that isn't necessarily online, and I really hope that console bars can do that. I would love to just speak off the cuff about it, but I don't know what to say. But I want to play games with people in person, offline, and outside my house.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I don't know where to do it, because there's no place that's like, come play your console games here. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you also got to see, for example, like Capcom. Their newest games they're releasing, the new games they're coming up with, they're all console exclusives.
Yeah, they don't even come to arcade anymore.
There you go. There's your answer.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Of course, like a lot of netcodes can be fairly good, but it's no real comparison to offline. And
not for fighting games.
Yeah, not for fighting games, absolutely. And so obviously when you if you're still living with your mom or or even partner. It's like, yeah, let's have like 5 million sweaty guys packing into your living room making noise. Yeah, no, no, it's not really going to work out very well. So yes, the any sort of place where we can get together and play is a good idea. Funnily enough, I was thinking or speaking to my friend the other day, and I was like, you know, when you used to, if you ever seen those social bars where people would go and like you see old men like playing poker or just watching TV, I have a feeling like in 20 years that might be where we hang out, but we're actually got consoles.
I see, like instead of playing chess and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like consoles in the park or
Chinese
something.
checkers.
Yeah.
Have either of you guys been to Insert Coin in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, so you know what it is. I mean, that's sort of game-centric, but I think that, you know, more video game-specific bars or things like that could really... I mean, Insert Coin themselves, they're opening up another location in Minnesota if they haven't already.
Yeah, well, actually, you know, our new sponsor, there are, like, Insert Coins without the bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys should check it out. Check out the website, ImmortalGamersLeague.com.
Okay.
And check out the pictures of the
Okay.
check out the pictures of the venue and check out the spot. And yeah, and if you guys are ever around in Vegas, stop by. Right now, since they're new, they're just open. They want to attract people and players to the venue. They're actually hosting free casual days where you just go in there and play for fun, for free. I mean, yeah, for free.
Nice.
And you don't have to pay a venue fee or like an hourly fee or anything. Just they have, I think it's like once or twice a week that they have those days. So people can just come in and play and get to know the place and the venue, and yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That sounds really good. And best of luck to them, because I was just thinking the other thing as well that we noticed is that when people try to open like a venue, they often try to make money off alcohol. And I don't know about you guys. Well, maybe Oscar's okay with this, but drinking and fighting games don't really work out too well.
Cerveza.
Oh, you Juicebox knows me too.
Yeah. Was it Tecate or something?
Yeah, that
Tecate.
All day, man. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will plead the fifth on that.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't help. It just, makes things more social.
Yeah. Everyone can have a lot more fun. I don't know about actual training, but everyone has a lot more fun. But yeah. Okay, let's switch this around to Juicebox. Now, Mr. Juicebox. Is it Juicebox Able or just Juicebox?
I try to go with just Juicebox, but Juicebox Able sort of sticks. People call me that when I don't want them to, but I don't really care at this point.
Okay.
As long as it has juice and box, I'm cool.
Okay.
Can we name him Juicebox KOF for this interview?
That'll work.
Oh, come on. He hasn't, paid his dues yet.
Juicebox.
No?
Juicebox. It's just too many syllables. Juicebox Able. It's like, about, I don't know, Juicebox KOF or
Juicebox KOF.
JB KOF. No, I don't know. We'll think of something.
When the game came out, I'm like, how about Juicebox King? Oh, nah.
Oh.
Nah, all you have to do to be an official KOF follower and player is add KOF to your name. Juicebox KOF. And
Oh boy, that's not quite a recommendation, but yeah. Okay, well, funnily enough,
you're official. You're legit.
Legit. Now, I heard about you being at Evo and basically getting up and dancing while doing Abel's, what was it, Super or Ultra?
Yeah, that's basically what got me in the public eye, so to speak, is when Abel would land his first Ultra in Street Fighter 4, I sort of just take that moment to live in the moment. I imitate the moves, like a kid would. I enjoy myself when I play. Like, for me, fighting games are not fun unless I'm actually doing high-level play. Like, I'm trying to play Street Fighter Cross Tekken, but I'm not having any fun because I can't play any mind games because I don't know the game.
Okay.
But, yeah, like, basically, the Able stuff was one thing, and I also was relatively consistent with Street Fighter 4.
Okay.
I don't feel as though I am anymore. I got 25th place at final round. Like, that doesn't cut it for me, but, like, I'm trying to move on to bigger and better games.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Oh. Look, man, you don't get bonus points for like sticking a knife in other games. It's all good here. We're not like game Nazis or anything like that. It's fine.
Nah.
But funnily enough, I mean, how did you end up playing KOF?
Well, here's what happened. There was a game that came after KOF 11, but came before KOF 13.
Oh, wow.
Was there? No, I don't remember. No, I don't. No.
Trauma.
And, it might have just been like a rumor on Kotaku or something.
There you go. Or 4chan or something.
But regardless, I was excited for that rumor of that game. And so I started to read about it, and I said to myself, I played Garu when I was a kid before I knew it was called Garu. A friend of mine had it like on a floppy disk,
wow.
But I was playing like the PC version of Garu or something, and I didn't know it was Garu. And later on, I saw King of Fighters, and I'm like, oh, Rock Howard and Terry Bogard, and I get it. But I never actually delved into any of those games. And before Street Fighter 4, I was playing Smash Brothers and Third Strike. And so I had never had the opportunity to really play a King of Fighters game, and I knew that I liked 2D fighters. And so when they rumored for a game after KOF 11, I said, I'm going to get that game, and I'm going to give it some time. And in the alternate universe where that game was released, unfortunately, there was not much of a community for it. And so what happened was it had a very, very short life. And so with the announcement of King of Fighters 13, I was able to play it on a lot of the early test builds that they brought to the NorCal and SoCal regionals tournaments and such. I believe I played it like 2 or 3 times before the console release. I just looked at it and I said, well, I like the way the game looks. I like the way the game feels. I'm going to give it a shot. And now that I've actually played it, sunk my teeth into it, given it a nice good look over, I'm realizing the things that I like about this game that I feel are missing from other fighting games of the current generation. And it really, really motivates me to get better at this game, because it's a game that I believe currently, as Ultra David has said, is the best fighting game out right now. And I believe what he means by that is, if you add on to the sentence, for determining who is the most skilled of the 2 players.
Aha, perfect. This actually leads on to another question that I had planned, because it's really about, I mean, how do you feel like, for example, I know you're playing other games, so how do you feel after you played KOF when you tried out SFXT?
Right. Well, there's obviously the speed difference. If you're good at hit confirming or doing combos in general in KOF, working with pretty much any 2D Capcom fighter, particularly the recent ones, feels quite a bit easier. That's just to start. There's less aerial. There aren't a lot of aerial movement options in the Street Fighter games. Generally, it's maybe 1 or 2 ways of altering a jump, if you have a way at all. And so a lot of the mix-ups are on the ground. They're still deep and they're still varied, but they tend to be on the ground, which means you can sort of know what to expect in that sense. Special move inputs, the way Street Fighter handles them, there's a couple extra inputs you could do here, or a couple missing inputs you could do here or there and still get them, which you may be able to use to your advantage, or maybe a disadvantage if you move the stick too much. Probably what I like about KOF is it's really, really hard to get a special move on accident if you know what you're doing. But as far as, high-level play and such, I really just feel as though the Capcom games currently give a little bit too many options on wake-up. Backdashes are invincible. In most cases. You can be thrown or hit the same time that you wake up, which basically that means that the game doesn't decide for you some slight risk and reward. You can throw or you can go for an attack. Either way, they have to deal with it. So what is the particular incentive to go for one or the other besides damage? Because damage will always be there, but there's no mental aspect to it. I can go for a throw and condition you to get a counter hit, or I can go for attacks and condition you to throw, but you can do whatever you want. Like, what I like about the KOF system is that because you cannot be thrown right away, it sets the mind game up, and it takes a strong player to break the mind game. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you think, I mean, thinking about the mind game and all of that, I mean, obviously it can't really carry over to some of the other 2D fighting games, but do you think when you get to know the real KOF system, do you think it makes you a better player to actually go on to other games like Street Fighter X Tekken?
Absolutely. And the first thing I already mentioned was the speed thing. I have not played a fighting game where hit confirming is as hard as it is in King of Fighters 13. And when I say hit confirming, I mean on the fly. If you get a random standing light kick with King, if you didn't cancel it to slide, you're not going to get anything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, if you get or here's a better example. Say you're playing EX Kyo, you do 2 low shorts to stand short. Say they block the first low short, but they don't block the second one. Are you quick enough to do crouch short, stand short, and confirm that you need to go into your unsafe special to get max damage, etc.?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, in Marvel, it's sort of hard to get a combo off a random hit, but it sort of depends on where you're on the screen, character, blah, 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 blah. Like in King of Fighters, a lot of the hits you're going to get are going to be not the sort of training mode setup combos that you want. So you need to be able to say, I got 1 hit, or I got 2 hits really, really quickly, do a half circle back and then hit forward and then hit punch, and then, oh yeah, here we go.
Right. I would like to add to that that I think that's one of the aspects of the game that makes players and characters so good. Because if you have a character who can dish a lot of damage off a standing B, just like 1 standing B or 1 down B, and then you have a player who has a skill to hit confirm off of that, he's going to be very strong. Both him, the player, and the character are going to be strong. A good example would be, off the top of my head, Shen. He can do down B, stand B, into his HD combo, which does like 80% damage. Now, in your training mode scenario, you always have your EC jump in C, standing C, forward B, right? And then you activate, of course, you have all day, and all this easy hit confirms. But in what Juicebox is trying to say here, in a real match, you're probably not gonna get a standing C, and yeah, if an opponent's allowing you to get him with a jumping C or a jumping D and then go into standing C, that means he really messed up.
He messed up. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So all day, what you're looking for is those down Bs, those standing Cs to get in there and start doing some damage.
Absolutely. I think pretty much in a high level match, you're looking for a combo that's going to come off a standing or crouching B, probably crouching B if anything. And those characters who can do a combo, a big long combo from an easy combo even from a crouching B, that's why they're the strongest. Okay, now actually, whoa, I think we went off on a slight tangent there. No, we didn't, because it's exactly what I wanted to talk about. Now, yeah, so would you guys agree that basically if you become a really good KOF player, you're going to become you're guaranteed. And if you think about what happened in Japan when the KOF team won the Street Fighter tournament, I think it's a good incentive for other Street Fighter players. If they want to tune up their reaction time and their mind games, they need to play some KOF.
Right. Let's not forget also that in China, Shanghai won the last national game for tournament for Street Fighter 4, which included players like Daigo and Punko. And then in Korea, let's not forget that Punko just won that. He won that. What is it, LG tournament?
The LG Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, he won, right?
Nice.
Yes, he defeated Fudo.
Yeah. So and both of those players, Shanghai and Punko, are originally KOF players.
Mm-hmm. And they still are.
Well, and they still play.
And still are.
I think. Honestly, I think Punko started playing better Street Fighter since he picked up KOF 13. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I don't have as much trouble seeing what's going on in Street Fighter, like what's really going on. Not just the combos, not just the confirming, not just the matchups, but seeing all the stuff going on behind the scenes. There's a lot more going on in KOF than in most 2D fighters, and so it's keeping track of what's going on in Street Fighter now. It's it's cake at this point.
What do you think of the idea that fighting games are being dumbed down?
Ugh.
You go first on this one. Go
okay.
First. Yeah.
Well, it depends on what you mean by dumbed down, because any fighting game at its core, you're going to have the mix-ups that you have to land if you want to land big damage and such. That's still all there. There's always the complicated combos that you could just eke out a little bit of extra damage. That's all still there. Probably the most common example is just stuff like Reuse Dragon Punch in Street Fighter, used to be a skill move in the early days of the arcade. If you didn't know how to do the motion, it wouldn't come out. Now you don't really need to know the real motion because there's a bunch of different motions that'll still give it to you. Because what they're saying is we want all players to be able to use this move. Now, I think that makes the game more accessible, and it makes certain things that used to be hard execution-wise quite a bit easier. The high-level mind games are still there. I think that separate from all that, though, I think that some of the decisions they came to regarding the balance of the recent Capcom games, I feel as though are not quite as hardcore or as rewarding as the older games. For example, Super Turbo. Here's a really, really good example. Say you're Guile and you block a jump in, and they go for a tick throw. Super Turbo, because you're standing and because you're in block stun, they're going to get that throw. The only thing you can possibly do, since you don't have a non-charge reversal, is you have to input a reversal throw during the one frame that you leave block stun. And you can always throw your aggressor before they attempt to throw you. But it's a one frame window and that's it. So if you want to get out of that situation as Guile, you need to be really good. And you could double tap it or something like that, but there's really no trick to it. You just have to be good at understanding that situation and getting that out. Whereas think about throws in modern games. There's 2 buttons, there's a throw whiff animation, you still get something if you're crouching and you hit the buttons, etc. Not so much BlazBlue. BlazBlue has a very interesting throw system, but I feel as though the modern mechanics are designed in such a way so that they're easier to understand, and the different options, are somewhat easier to take advantage of. Whereas in the older games, you were rewarded with your knowledge because it was almost impossible to execute those sorts of things without that knowledge, or you couldn't win certain matchups without that knowledge. And now the sort of general knowledge about the game is readily available, and people are able to do things that they couldn't before. And it's a generational thing. I mean, I'm part of the newer generation, but I would agree that if you're good at Super Turbo, then that holds more weight to me than being good at Street Fighter 4. But that's me, analyzing the game and such. At the end of the day, Daigo wins Evo, Daigo wins 5 figures. What have the American players ever won in the years of Super Turbo tournaments? It depends on what you see out of the game.
Oscar, what do you think?
I'm gonna agree with him, and I'm gonna keep it simple. Yes, I do believe that newer games are being made easier for casual players to pick up, for beginners or people who are interested in learning the game and getting to a competitive level fast. Not just, Street Fighter 4 is out today, it's going to take me 2 years to get to a competitive level. No, it's going to take you 3 to 4 months to, if you really dedicate yourself, it's going to take you 3 to 4 months to be on that status where you are going to feel like, I can participate at a tournament and, I can do decent. I do notice that a lot of the newer games like Street Fighter Cross Tekken and like Marvel have this EC system combos, like 1 2 3 launch, 1 2 3 launch. Marvel has that, and Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I'm pretty sure they have that, right? Where they do 1 2 3 and then the tag assist or whatever. Yeah, so I've noticed that now, but what I feel, I don't know if you guys, listen to this, it's gonna be kind of weird, kind of random, but I don't know if you guys ever felt about this way about the newer games. I feel like games like Street Fighter 4 have a skill cap where there's a level you can only get so good because the system, the game itself, only allows you to get that good, because there can only be so many 50-50s, so many option selects, so many mix-ups. The game does not allow you to go even further, take your skill to the highest level possible based on your skill, because of the game. It only has one jump, so there's only so much you can do with only one jump. Unless you're Viper or Ibuki that have 2 jumps, that's why they are actually pretty good in the game, where it allows you to explore further than your average Street Fighter 4 character. So the way I look at it is that there's a skill cap, right? So once you get to that skill level, you're going to be able to compete versus all these other players that have reached that level. It doesn't matter if you're Daigo Umehara, it doesn't matter if you're Justin Wong or Wolf Prone, because they've all reached that level, and they all have the same opportunity of beating each other. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, I mean, the match is going to be very close, and it's only going to vary depending on the character they're using and the matchup.
Okay.
You see kind of what I mean?
Yeah. So you're like, it's like, so let's say for example on a wake up you're going to have, you know, in KOF you could have maybe up to like, wow, actually maybe even like 5 options, maybe more actually, of a way to react to an opponent standing in your face. But let's say we reduce that to just two or even 3 ways. Yeah, you see that it's
exactly. See, so you can, you know, learn those 3 options, and they're gonna work all the time with pretty much 90% of all the cast, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is especially true with like option select and stuff in Street Fighter. I mean, if Ryu knocks down Honda cannot do a reversal anything if the Ryu player presses the right buttons. He'll just beat all of it clean. So the game then becomes, okay, am I going to block this jump fierce and then not reversal and then deal with the mix-up after that? Or am I going to try to reversal anyway and hope that he doesn't do that thing that beats all my stuff? And even though there's multiple mix-ups within those 2 options, the mix-up game sort of becomes those 2 options, and you can reduce the game. A lot of Street Fighter players just prefer to reduce the game to minimum mix-ups, whereas I like to think about specific things my opponent like to do, counter those specific things, make them stop doing those things, and then as I reduce their options, continue to counter specific things until I break them mentally. That's how I like to play. Whereas I've noticed a lot of players are just like, well, I'm just going to do these 2 or 3 options on this one mix-up, and if I do that enough times, I'll win.
And I think I can come up with a scenario. May I use Juicebox for one scenario that I can maybe...
Absolutely, Oscar.
Okay, so Juicebox is one of these players that has reached that ultimate level. Let's say it's an RPG and you've reached level 99, right?
Yeah.
So you're there. That's it. So you're gonna be able to compete with every other guys. Let's talk about Winter Brawl, right? Is that where you got second place?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Winter Brawl, you got second place. You played all those players. Your matchups were better, and at the grand finals, you faced
Justin
Rufus, right? Yeah, and Rufus, as far as I know, it's has an advantage on Abel.
He sure does.
Is that correct?
Uh-huh.
So at the end of the day, both players were equally as skilled, because that's how I saw it. They were equally as skilled, but Justin was using the better character for that matchup. Now let's fast forward to final round. Same player, Juicebox, number 2. I mean, number 2 is not bad. Winter Brawl. So so Juicebox, final round. He plays against this other random guy who's maybe near that level, near that top level, and uses El Fuerte, right?
Yes.
El Fuerte, and he sends you. Now the matchup, he didn't know the matchup well enough, or this El Fuerte player had some new technology unseen before, so Juicebox was sent to to losers. So he plays this other player who's almost at that level, and that match that day he played better than Juicebox and he won. So that's what I mean, that you can have all these players, but they can only get so much, so far. I mean, Juicebox can try all day to come up with new stuff, new technology. Justin Wong can try to come up with new setups, and Daigo can try to come up with new option selects. But no, it's not possible.
Yeah, at the end of the day, there's the matchup and only the matchup.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think about that point of view, Juicebox? What do you...
Well, I feel that is a game-specific phenomenon. And that's really why we're talking about it, is some games, have that brick wall that you really just can't get around. If I'm playing Abel and you're playing Fei Long or Rufus, I have to read you. if I don't read you, and I mean perfect reads, he's going to do a dive kick at this height, and I'm going to falling sky it. Fei Long is going to do a Rekka at this exact spot. I'm going to back up just 2 pixels. He's going to whiff it, and I'm going to get a full combo. in some matchups, you have to make perfect reads, or you cannot do any of your general strategies because they are that bad. And in those sorts of matchups, your skill level is really your skill matters as it always does, but they can make your skill not matter in specific situations, and they can say, well, Abel can't deal with this. So if I do this, Juicebox can't deal with it because Abel can't deal with it. Juicebox has to do something completely weird and non-Abel-like and something that I haven't seen before in order for me to even care. And he's got to do it 2 or 3 times. Because even if it works once, I know Abel can't deal with it. Maybe Juicebox came up with something. But I could just sort of do that again, and I bet you it'll work. You see what I'm saying?
And now this scenario, it's based on both players being at that ultimate level. Because both of the players know all the ins and outs and all the option selects that each other has. So that works on that specific level.
Yeah, well, I was just saying that. It's like 3 options for whatever. But Juicebox is talking about matchups, and that's like makes it a bit more complicated. So we're talking on a general level.
Do you think there's a skill cap?
I think there's a skill cap. I think, and this is actually leading to my final question for you guys. Because, okay, if you put a skill cap on the game, so it's reduced to, it's like stone, rock, scissors kind of situations, apart from, obviously the occasional matchup where one character might have an advantage over another, but eventually the game becomes stone, rock, or scissors, right? Is the game still fun?
Not for me.
Too
not
simple
for me.
For you, yeah? Because
I'll tell you right now, it's not fun for me because I play the game so that I can beat people because I have a mental advantage over them, because the game gives me tools to play with. You know, I've dealt with enough Rufuses to know that you don't have to think too hard to be good with Rufus. Not to discredit Rufus players. The fact of the matter is he can use just 2 moves, just 2, and they're both on the medium kick button, and 99% of the cast cannot reliably counter both options all the time. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is a strategy, and it is a legitimate and good tournament level strategy, but it's not something they have to think too hard about. Compared to say you play Ash Crimson and KOF, you've got 2 stocks. I just landed back light kick. I want to go into activation, go into my mid screen, Sans Squelette combo, blah 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 blah. Like, that's not the sort of thing you can just do. There are strategies you can just do, and there are strategies that you have to know before you do that require, certain skill sets to be developed before you can use. And I believe that certain characters in certain games are not built for that, like Rufus in Street Fighter 4, and I don't have fun in those sorts of situations. I have fun when I'm playing mind games and when the strategies are clashing, as opposed to one player just sort of barfing mix-ups at the other, and I have to deal with them because the game says that they're cool.
Yeah. For example, look at Sea Viper. Sea Viper, it's not really a Street Fighter character. A lot of people say, oh, she's a KOF character. She's got 2 types of jumps, and just that by itself allows her to create a lot of different possibilities and weird cross-ups that she does with her fire kick in the air and stuff. And I don't know. In Japan, from what I hear, a lot of people consider her the top tier or amongst the top tiers.
Okay.
Yeah. And going, to answer that question, okay. So the question was about if the game goes down to 3 options, rock, paper, scissors, would it be fun? To me, it wouldn't be fun. And that's one of the reasons I don't play other newer games now. And that's why I play KOF, because I feel KOF allows the player to use their full potential and to win with skill. Yeah. Because it allows them to fully develop their skill in the game. Yeah.
No offense to Atlas. Our good friend Professor is over in Japan, and he played he was over at the release of the Persona 4 Ultimate Arena, and he managed on his first try to get a 15-win streak, just mashing the A button, because on the A button you can cancel your moves into special moves into supers. And
Awesome.
I was like, okay, sounds like fun. And obviously it's going to be more accessible to, it's going to be, you can sit on the couch and mash the A button and do all kinds of explosions and things. I can imagine that's going to bring in a great big audience. However,
in America, it will.
Yeah, everywhere. I mean, it's one of the things that worries me about a lot of the greater population, or maybe the newer generation. I'm not sure which it is, but a lot of people are really, really lazy and just want to have a drink and play a fighting game and somehow look like they're good at it at the same time. And what worries me is like Capcom or SNK are looking at the figures, the sales figures, and not the actual fighting game community. And I'm worried that the community actually are like, yeah, we want to play an easy fighting game, or not actually work and appreciate the skill and the hours that you've put into this game to be able to work at that level. All right, so what do you guys think about the future of fighting games when it comes to making things easy and accessible?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. Well, making the game easy, is that what you're asking, or?
Yeah, I think making the game easy is going to make it more accessible. So imagine if we had KOF with A, B, C, D launcher combos. Would you still play it?
Yeah. No, I think that'll be the day I stop playing KOF. And honestly, I mean, the way games are looking now, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I would not be shocked if in a few years KOF ends up being like that, because that's what the community is asking for. You just look at Street Fighter Cross Tekken. It's a horrible game. It's really bad. I mean, not just because of the gems and all the DLC characters that are already on the disc and all that crap. The game itself, it's really bad. It's very, very bad, and I see a lot of people playing it. And I'm keeping it real. That's how I feel.
All right.
That's what I'm gonna say. If you know what, if I get
That's his opinion, man.
Yeah, it is my opinion.
Cool.
And hey, if haters gonna hate and people are gonna agree, and my people not agree. But what I see now, games like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, nobody would be playing it. Nobody will be investing serious time, developing a community for it, or trying to get competitive at the game, if the game was not at EVO. If the game would have not been picked up by EVO before the release date, that's very unusual. That happens because we didn't know up to the date. As of today, Gunsmith, EVO has not posted the official rules for Street Fighter Cross Tekken because they have no idea of how to play this game in the tournament.
Okay.
That is insane. That is shocking to me, honestly, because I pushed for KOF so many years to happen at EVO, and then this game comes out of nowhere. They have no idea how people are going to accept it. They have no idea whether gems are going to be allowed or not. And they have no idea how to even run a tournament for it. And the game is there. And the only reason people are playing it is because of that. If Street Fighter Cross Tekken would have not been picked up by EVO, nobody would be caring about it now. They would have probably bought it. They would have played it for a week and over the weekend, but they would have said, this game is ass. Forget about it. And next year, EVO, there would not be Street Fighter Cross Tekken either, because there would not have been a community for it. Nobody
what do you think, Juice?
Well, I wouldn't use a word like terrible to say about the quality of the game. I don't think, for one, I think Street Fighter 4 is a better game.
Yes, I will agree with that. That I will agree.
But, as far as the future of fighting games is concerned, the first thing that comes to my head is, when I was young, skill was rewarded because it was rare. Who knew the cheat codes? The kid who bought the magazines. It's the secret knowledge that some people liked and it made games enjoyable for them, whereas other people just liked beating one level in Pac-Man and said, I'm happy with this. And so what's happening is that now that fighting games are selling over 1 million copies a piece, now that people who aren't, hardcore about it are getting into it, companies like Capcom are realizing that they have a market, a relatively untapped market due to the recent boom, recent being 2008, the release of Street Fighter 4.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this market says, I'm happy with beating the computer on very easy and seeing those endings and unlocking the stuff in my gallery. And I'm cool with that. And I know SNK knows about that too, because I bought the $7 DLC that says unlock all the colors. I bought it. I bought it. So the future of fighting games is, you know, they're a business. They will cater to the people that will make them money. But I do think that the companies want to make the game for the hardcore crowd. They are making concessions to the casual crowd because they know it'll make them money. But they want to keep the game strong because they know that not everyone is going to be skilled at it, and they want to reward the players that will be skilled at it. They want to support the community. They want us to, you know, take their game and show it to people who don't really give a crap, so that they can pick it up, maybe as casual or maybe as hardcore. It's free marketing for them. You know, and the game, if they don't make it deep, might not be as exciting to watch. I mean, well, that's where my argument starts falling apart. I don't really know anything. That's where I don't know anything at that point. But if you can understand what I'm saying, I can only hope that fighting games like King of Fighters 13 are still viable to be released, because it's games like King of Fighters 13 that make me excited to play fighting games and are the reason that I play fighting games in the first place. If fighting games weren't, if I wasn't playing fighting games right now, I'd be playing Dance Dance Revolution and probably Mass Effect.
And Rock Band.
And Rock Band, yeah, like games like that. But fighting games are here, and they're still here. And King of Fighters 13 is right there. And I'm hoping that King of Fighters 14 or Street Fighter 5 is the sort of game that I'm going to want to buy, because it's the sort of game that I will be happy to be good at, and I will have a lot of fun being good at.
Cool.
So Juicebox, do you think that if Street Fighter Cross Tekken was not at EVO, do you think there would be a community development for it? Or
I think there would be a small one, slightly bigger maybe than the BlazBlue community, I would say. The fact is, if it were not supported by major tournaments, it would become a niche game. And I mean, I can't argue, like, what if gems weren't there? What if this character wasn't there?
No.
It does have a lot of appeal. Like, you know, Marvel vs. Capcom, it's a whole bunch of characters clashing. They threw Mega Man in there. They made sure everyone with a Vita wants one now, and I want a Vita so bad. For Mortal Kombat.
Do you know? I hear KOF is coming out for Vita.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that KOF is coming out for Vita, and it's gonna be the climax version.
Oh yeah, I think
what?
I did hear something like that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody sent me a random message. He said he works for SNK Play or whatever. But I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt. So I didn't.
I'll wait for the screenshot.
I get a lot of random messages. So.
Well, hey, the new Neo Geo is real. Anything could happen.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm not
the new
gonna.
Neo Geo is real.
I'm not gonna down hype that one. The new Geo. Yeah.
The Neo Geo.
Keep dreaming, everyone. But yes, let's not end this on a low note.
One last thing I want to say about Street Fighter Cross Tekken before we change the subject or wrap it up. Just really quick. I think that if Street Fighter Cross Tekken would have had to go through the same road that the old school fighting games had to go through, for example KOF, they had to go through the community test first, through the small get together events, through the small tournaments, through being picked up for major events. I don't think it would have lasted that long. You guys remember? I don't know. You probably guys don't even remember Capcom Fighting Evolution, Capcom Fighting Jam.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Made by Capcom, right? And they didn't put it at EVO right away. They left it out there for the community to decide. And guess what? It never made it to EVO.
Yeah. They just said Mugen, no. Oh.
Yeah. So if Street Fighter Cross Tekken would have not been put on the the starting list or on a pedestal right off the bat, I don't think it would have managed to work its way to the major events, to EVO, to being a top title in the community.
Okay.
That's all I had to say. Sorry.
Okay. Cool. Right. Well, I'd just like to add to that. Now, what I think, and I hope Capcom and SNKP and everyone else is listening, what I think was a really, really good idea was when CVS2 came out on the Wii, for all those professionals, with the easy operation, or rather easy operation mode.
GameCube.
Yeah.
GameCube.
Oh, was it GameCube? Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that again. You know when Capcom came out with that particular version?
Yeah,
of...
you're trying to make yourself look younger.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks. I'm trying to edit this back in. All right. Fine. I'll just leave it. Let you correct me. Fine. I'll sound senile. I don't care. But anyway.
It was also on Xbox.
Yeah. Did that have the easy operation on that as well?
Yes, it did. Yes,
Wow.
It did.
Cool.
PS2 was the only good port.
Okay, but I think that's actually I think is the key to try and bring in your your greater crowd and make it accessible, because that is making the game accessible. It's spam friendly, but it's still got the actual hard normal mode in there for all the people who actually want to play the game properly.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah. I think that's sort of what they're going for with the assist gems, is they're incentivizing, well, if you didn't have to use those assist gems, well, then maybe you could use that slot for something actually useful, but at the same time, I understand what you're saying about easy operation. You just say, well, there's 2 different games here, and you pick the one that you want to play, and when you're ready to graduate, you move up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so just to wrap this up now, what are you guys looking forward to then? Obviously, game-wise.
Resident Evil 6?
Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right. Yeah.
Did you mean fighting games?
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So, what are you guys looking forward to in the upcoming scene for fighting games?
I'm happy for the EVO 2012 season. It's been a roller coaster ride so far, and there's been a tournament every other week almost, and there's going to be tournaments just about every other week until July. So my calendar's pretty full at this point. But what I am personally most excited for is MLG. Cool. The reason I'm excited for MLG is because we can make this happen. We can make King of Fighters 13 way, way, way more popular than it has been by reaching a brand new audience. We can, the community, with MLG's support, give greater prize payouts for the players and make a greater incentive to learn the games that they have on their roster. Soul Calibur 5 is a great game. It's not the sort of game that I would play, but I think that not enough people are playing it. I think not enough people are playing King of Fighters. And I know a lot of people are playing Mortal Kombat, but we have been seeing the same top players more or less dominate those tournament standings. In my view, if we want video games to be esports, we need to be on that sports level where the competition is the competition. And we make it worth your while to learn these games and to, travel to all these places and make it so that, just because Bala enters the tournament in SoCal doesn't mean he's going to win, because there's somebody else who wants to travel to SoCal to kick his ass. And if it's an MLG event, that's going to be a little bit more likely. There's an MLG season. It's going to be a lot more likely over the course of a season. And, me personally, I don't know if you've seen me on video or whatever in the past few months since Final Round or whatever, but I personally am very, very excited in the whole esports community and the growth of the fighting game and the maturity of the fighting game community, getting into that sort of scene, because I think it's what we need to do if we want to actually grow and expand and prosper, because grassroots is fine. I'm cool with grassroots. But when you play grassroots, you play just for the love of the game, and you can play for more. We can make this bigger than that.
Yep. I think you've given the answer that he wanted to give. So I don't think have you got anything else to add to that? I don't think you need to.
Actually, yeah, what I'm looking forward to right now, it's a break. Yeah, because I've been traveling everywhere, to Europe, to Mexico, to East Coast, West Coast, everywhere. And yeah, what I'm looking for right now, it's a break. I think I'm going to take April off. Probably not going to go anywhere in April. I'm just going to take it off and then regroup and start traveling again.
Sounds good.
In May. And another thing I'm looking forward to is, of course, EVO and MLG. I hope that we have a good results and a good turnout for MLG, and that MLG organizers are happy with the KOF community. because we are known to be all honest fighting game players. So I hope we can all impress them and that they invite us back. Right now that is probably my first priority, and I'm putting a lot of work in this, and I'm preparing myself, and I'm trying to prepare the community for MLG, and we just want us, not me, we want us to put a good show,
Cool.
so that we're invited back.
So that means you're gonna need a co-commentator, isn't that right?
Oh, we have talked about that.
Jeez.
Well, I'm playing at the event, so officially, my hands are full. I don't know if I can commentate. Oh God. But
yeah.
I'm hoping that somewhere between some matches, I can bring that final round hype that I brought up final round, to MLG. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So pretty much, since competitors cannot be commentators because of conflict of interest, whatever. Those are the rules. Don't ask me why. Those are the rules. And that's one of the reasons I'm not competing too. Because if I was able to, I would be there participating. Anyway, so however, since the fighting game community was allowed to be in charge of the fighting games events, and that's why we have Arturo, we have myself, we have Ryan Overduck 9.95 for the Mortal Kombat community. So we know the community. And we know what people want to see. And right now, probably the hottest commentator out there is Juicebox. I'll be honest. And I'm sorry if somebody's getting hurt. Yeah, I'm including myself. I'm known to be a KOF commentator. But Juicebox, it's a great commentator. And I said, you know what? We need to have, he's here. We need to have him somewhere on that stream. So there's an option for a guest commentator. So we offered that opportunity to Juicebox. So whenever we're able to bring a guest commentator on, Juicebox is going to be there because he delivers the hype. He's a great commentator. I think for the opening and closing of the tournament, it has to be Ryan and me. But in between, we're going to try to throw Juicebox in there as much as we can, and I hope he wants to.
Cool.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Oh, I want to sell some new games.
Right, cool. So we're going to have some juice in the mix. Okay, that's pretty much bring us to the end of our lovely little podcast. And thanks to both of you for coming on.
82 minutes later.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. You have no idea.
I don't.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for Juicebox for coming on too.
I'm definitely looking forward to MLG, and of course Evo as well. Still, possibly there's a chance I might pop down. Who knows? But the season is definitely looking very, very, very hype, as you Americans say right now. Yes, definitely. It's all looking very good, and a lot of us over in Europe are definitely going to be having a very keen eye on the scene and watching all you guys compete. So best of luck to you both. And I guess this is me, the Gunsmith, aka Alan Francois, signing out with Juicebox.
Yeah!
And the answer.
All right.
Right, yeah.